What's up, everybody? Welcome into Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. You see right above me right here. Shout out to the Ohio State Buckeyes on winning the national championship. You want to talk about pressure. There was no one under more pressure than Ryan Day. And this man took it, all right, ran with it, took it all the way home, won himself a national championship. So shout out to the Buckeyes there. They definitely deserved it. Notre Dame put up a heck of a game there. It started great. Got a little nervous there in the middle, but they put on a show as well. Came down to the end. That was a fun game. A lot better than I thought it would be around halftime. So anyway, shout out to the Ohio State Buckeyes, but shout out to you for hopping in here today. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to get things back to normal. And yeah, everybody in the Discord, we had a ton of fun last night. Make sure, join that. You'll see it in the show description there right now. And if somebody can drop in the chat, that'd be great too. But we came here for exactly what to see how we did yesterday. And we went 4-3. All right. Hit on Ohio State. All right. Over 3.5 team touchdowns. Hit on the spread. Boy, we talked about it. Did that not come down to when you see a weird 8.5? That 2-point conversion from Notre Dame? Oh, man, we were in nervous town there, but big field goal for Ohio State. Shout out to the boys doing that one. We hit on any team to score 30-plus points, and we also hit on Ohio State over 1.5 field goals at plus 130. So we got some plus monies in there. We lose on the first quarter. It was a good drive by Notre Dame. Lose on the turnovers and lose on the punts. But 4 out of 3, we will take it. Now, Howie Schwab, crew play of the day. I want to get you guys' thoughts here. All right, Commanders +6, Eagles -6, Bills +1.5, Chiefs -1.5. Polls in the chat. Vote now. Update as we always do at the end of the show. However, here for today, it's time to get to the picks. And it's Tuesday. We couldn't do this without our man Mark getting in some hockey and everything else. Marcus, how we doing, sir?
Fantastic. How are you, AB?
Man, doing good, buddy. Doing good. Sure do appreciate you jumping on. We definitely did not want to miss a single thing in hockey and every other sport because, trust me, I'm not hitting anybody with any hockey picks. I don't have anything great for you on that one. So we won't waste any time, man, and I want you to go first here. So I'm going to throw the picks on the screen and break them down. What you got, my man?
Yeah, let's start with we're going to take the Sharks and the Predators first period over 1.5. You can get that at -120. Look, the last 3 games, the Predators alone have scored 2-1 and 2 goals in the first period by themselves. San Jose is going to have Alexander Georgiev in goal. He's allowed a goal. Excuse me, let me back up. He has only not allowed a goal to be scored against him in 19% of his 27 starts this year. He's only held a team scoreless in the first period 5 times this year. I love this spot for a very hot Nashville team to get off and get going and get over 1.5 goals in the first period. They'll probably do it by themselves. The next, we're going to go to Ottawa and the New York Rangers, and we're going to take the total under 6 at -125. Look, both goalies in this game, Levi Merlenin for the Senators, he comes in with a 92.6% save rate and a 1.98 goal against average. He's going to be facing Igor Shesterkin, who on his home ice has a 95.1% save rate with a 1.29 goal against average. This is going to be a defensive battle. I don't see a lot of scoring happening in this one, and I love the fact that we aren't playing around with the hook here. We have the little push insurance.
Always love a little push insurance, my man. And I'll tell you this, the Nashville Predators, they are such a weird club. Like, it's been such a tough, just an odd season, but it's been a couple odd seasons, man. They've had so many changes, not only at the general manager position. I mean, we've seen the head coach position over the last 5 years. It seems like it changes every, year and a half, right? But the Preds kind of on fire a little bit, huh?
Yeah, they're very similar to like the Buffalo Bills at the moment, except they're not as horrible in the second and third period as the Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Sabres. I got me thinking football. They come out there, they're really hot. To your point about the Predators, they have built a team around some superstar talent that just for whatever reason, it cannot all get going at the same time. If this team does catch fire, they're going to be absolutely hell to face, later in the season, and if they can get into the postseason.
Yeah, that'd be nice, man. I'll tell you. Let me just say, here in Nashville, all right, so you've got Broadway, okay? And across from Broadway, the river, is the Titan Stadium and the new Titan Stadium. Bridgestone Arena, where the Predators play, literally 3/4 of a mile, right? Pretty close. I mean, you could walk them, right? Nashville would like somebody winning. Let me just say that. They would like somebody winning some games. And I'll tell you what, that transition's perfect into my place here because one team that was winning, all right, the Vanderbilt Commodores beat Tennessee over the weekend here. That's why I'm going to take Tennessee on the bounce back against Mississippi State, -6.5. This number is going to go to 7. It's been bouncing back and forth. Tennessee at home, Rick Barnes, a really solid team when they're coming off of a loss, although you are getting to the middle of conference play. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to have teams that are tired, but it goes both ways. So I'm going to take Tennessee here, -6.5. And then, look, we've got 2 nice, solid plays here with Texas -2 and SMU -2. Quite frankly, Mark, I don't think either of these games will be all that close. SMU Louisville is going to be fascinating. I love Pat Kelsey at Louisville. They have what he's doing with a roster that has no size, nobody left from last year. Like, he started over. Completely started over, and he's hung with the big boys. But I'm going to take SMU here, and I'm going to take Texas -2. Any thoughts that you have college basketball-wise? Anything you see you like?
How long does that play out? Do you know what I mean? You start all over, and you don't have the size, really the depth that you had previously.
Yep.
How long does that sustain, do you think?
Well,
it looks good right now, and they're playing beyond their abilities right now, but how long is that sustainable?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And look, generally it starts to fall. You're right, because it's a long season. These are still kids that are in college, right? They have school, they have other things that are going on, and attrition, right? Normal wear and tear. And as you go through the conference season, especially when you're in the ACC, I mean, you got a lot of good teams, right? So yeah, like, I think that's a great question and a good projection, going forward of maybe they become a team to fade. You know what I mean? Like, once we get closer to conference tournament time,
right?
Yeah, it's a good look. That's a good look for sure. All right, so we've got our picks now, my man. We have got NFL to break down. All right, we've got to get started. All right, I know you've got your projections, and I want to hear about the statistics that you've had, because I believe it's been a pretty damn good season in regards to your model. And yeah, we need to start breaking these teams down. So it is time to educate and entertain. All right, Mark. So here's what we've got. Okay. Sunday, we've got 2 games, conference championships. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Okay. First one, the NFC Championship, we've got the Commanders and the Eagles. All right, Eagles a 6-point favorite, total of 47.5. We've got the Chiefs, my 1.5-point favorite over the Bills, total 47.5. Bucks have kept it right there. That's generally the number where they're going to be, because conference championship games are pretty, consistent. Games go by fast. Scoring can get tough. Tight end play is definitely in play once again. So, Mark, all right, so now that we see these, talk to us about the model that you've had, what you're seeing success-wise, and then we're going to break down these teams, and I have some questions for you.
Yeah, so the model that we have at justastatsports.com, it literally takes 4 different AI self-learning machines and there's a separate model for all 4 different things that we weight. We use a straight-up money line. We use what they call an echo model, an against the spread model, and then one that nobody really talks about, but it has been one of the best hitting ones, is the yards per point and the SRS model. And so all of these different things are weighted across 4 different models, and the projected winner for each model, then we say, okay, if we have a 3-star rated, if we have 3 projections for a single team, that's a 3-star rated model. A 4-star obviously is a team that got projected across all 4. our stats for this season, our 3-star model ratings have hit at 54. They're 54 and 24 for 74%. Our 4-star is 23 and 6 for 82%. So really like what the model has been doing this year. It's been extremely profitable. And yeah, we've already run the projections and we're looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Okay, so we're going to walk through these games. Just done our preliminary notes work. All right, so I'm going to walk through both of them, and then let's talk about each game. All right, and what we're going to do is we start preparing through the week. It's Tuesday. We've got plenty of time to get all these bets in, but it's good to go ahead and start and get ahead of the public because they're not going to bet, really, the general mass public until Friday night, Saturday, Sunday morning, right? So if we're going to find our numbers, and we're not going to have full props out, we've got a lot of them, but yeah. So let's walk through it here. Okay. So first off, pull this up full screen, and let's take a look here at the Commanders and Eagles. Okay. Look at points per game, 5th, 7th. All right. Commanders putting up some points this year. Points per game allowed. All right. 23-17. All right. The Eagles, their defense has been solid. They've been doing it that way all year long. All right. We're going to be dealing with the elements outside the weather. Average time of possession. Now, here is where, Mark, Washington really, I'm not going to say completely won the game, but kind of won the game, right? Like their best play is really what Aaron Rodgers did in Green Bay all year long. All right. Own the clock, own the ball, don't turn it over, score points. You don't always have to get 7, but yeah.
Yeah, the best defense for Washington last week was having a steady offense that could control the ball and move the chains without they weren't playing the field position game. They were playing the time of possession game. And there's a world of difference. So I agree with you 100%. I think that, for the Commanders to have a chance in this one, we're going to see version 2.0 come out, and it's going to be the same script. Lots of Austin Eckler. Look for Scary Terry McClellan to have a big game. But the key to this is keeping the ball on the Washington offensive side. That's the key.
Yeah, I agree, man. Now, you look at the passing offense, all right, 17th, 29th. And again, the Eagles, they haven't had to pass all that much, right? So that number's a little skewed, right? Like, what are you going to do? Passing defense. Here's where it gets fascinating, okay? Both of these defenses, elite, all right, for the pass game. Both of these offenses are elite in the run game. But look at the rush defense, okay? 30th, 10th. So just going off of that, the Eagles are going to run the damn football. Now, here's the other question in regards to that, right? If the Eagles are running the football with success, that takes away that time of possession, right? Like the Commanders are going to have to come out and stop the run immediately. So going off of that, what I see out of this, especially the start, the Eagles are going to start with the ball in regards to they're going to start running the ball, right? As they always do, but they're going to test you. I think they're going to test this defense in the secondary, and they're going to put some balls in the air. All right. Remember, we got a stat on the Eagles here in just a minute. This is a team that scores fast. They want to put you behind, right? So I'm fascinated with that. So if we're looking at this, okay, and we'll jump to the next game because, again, we've got all week. But if you're looking at this right now, right, like prop-wise, and we don't have the numbers in front of us yet, but who are you looking at? Like, I'll give you an example. It's going to be hard for me not to play Saquon Barkley props all over the board.
And it's funny you say that because I see that his line right now is at 124.5.
Yeah.
Which I think
124.5.
124.5.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that the Commanders are going to stop Saquon Barkley? No. And they don't have to win this game. But if they play the time of possession game again, and they can limit the damage that Barkley does and actually make Philadelphia beat them through the air, you've just reduced the number of chances Barkley can burn you for long yardage and get up over 125 yards. So I'm looking at that, and again, it's Saquon Barkley. Do you ever want to fade Saquon? No. Am I really leery of 125 rushing yards at this point in the season? Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. And look, he's on the same play style as Derrick Henry. Like, I've said it forever. I'll never bet a Derrick Henry under. I'll never do it. Doesn't mean that I'm going to play the over either, right? Because those numbers get huge. But I'm not going to play the under because, I mean, every time that Saquon gets the ball, like, dude, the line looks like it's going to bust open. Like, I mean, at any moment. And did you see that moment, that last long touchdown where Jalen Hurts is lined up in shotgun. He's got Saquon sidecar right. And Saquon's literally telling him, this is where it's going to open up. He's literally like, you have two quarterbacks back there. Like, it's unbelievable. It's just, yeah. So right now, and yeah, I mean, especially if you tell me, that number's that big, like Saquon attempts, all right, Saquon longest rush.
That's the one I would say is the one that I would be playing. Yeah. Is that longest rush. He's going to be good to break one off at some point in the game. He's going to, the defense is going to get worn down. They have the 30th ranked rush defense all season. That doesn't change overnight. And, you're coming off a pretty rough game, very tough and physical game last week. I expect Barkley to get off and look for a 25, 30 yard rush.
Oh yeah. Like honestly. All right. Yes. All right. So Kevin brings it up right here. All right. 22.5.
Yeah. I love that look.
Count me in right now. Now I'll tell you what, what else you can count me in, and we'll jump over the next game. You know what else you can count me in on? Jalen Hurts. I'll take his longest as well, because that's trouble. It's trouble to deal with both of those dudes, and especially if they get a pass game going early too. I mean, pick your poison.
Right. I mean? And I think both quarterbacks really. That's a great look as their longest rush.
Yeah.
They're both going to be scrambling, and both of them are mobile, and they have the athletic ability to get out and they become, a second running back.
Oh,
Jalen Hurts is in essence a running back that throws the ball really well too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're not saying that disrespectful, like, oh, he can't throw. The dude's money, right? But no, but you brought up a good point too. All right, Jaden Daniels on the other side, and we talked about this in the Discord live last weekend. If the Commanders go in with a lead, Jaden Daniels will run the football 1,000 times in the second half. Because it's safe and it doesn't turn the ball over. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't get, like, we were talking about it live in the Discord. I was trying to get his rushing attempts because it was like 5.5 in the second half. Like, he had that in the first drive. I mean, he ran it literally every time. So that's something to pay attention to. Now,
you know what? Another real quick, just to that point with your live betting, one of the other things is pay attention to that weather, because when that snow moved into Philadelphia, and started coming down. This I couldn't believe. They were giving out the weather reports saying, hey, listen, that snow is going to start falling in about 15, 20 minutes. And I'm looking at the time on the clock in the first quarter and placed the bet for the lowest score. The highest scoring quarter would be the first. I got that at minus 120. And the lowest scoring period would be the third quarter.
Yeah.
And
talking hockey, I like it.
Yeah. And catch that one as well. So I mean, there's all sorts of different angles you can go with this.
There sure are. Now here's you want some more runners? Here you go. Now before we do it, Mark, I gotta say, you've got nice hockey hair. You know that? Look at this, dude. You have got NHL hair, bro. It's good to go.
You got the
dude. It's
little length in the back.
I wish I had it. Okay, so going over the next game here, let's take a look, and I'll pull this up full screen. You see, all right, Bills, second in the NFL, scoring 30.9 per game. Chiefs, 22.6. You see points per game allowed, 21, 19. Time of possession, Bills, 29 minutes. Chiefs, 30. Like, there's a big difference in ranking, but, what is that, a minute, right? Which, I mean, a minute's big, but still. All right, passing offense is 9th, 14th. Passing defense is 24th, 18th. You see the rushing offense is 9th, 22nd. Rushing defense, 12th, 8th. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think the Bills have their way with the Chiefs. Like,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that what we saw this season when they came to Buffalo and played was a Buffalo team that was already eyeing this game being played at this time of the year.
Yeah.
And wanted to get in their heads that, yeah, we're not afraid of you. We can beat you. At the same time, you look at what Kansas City has done against the AFC this season at home, and they just don't cover spreads. They have the lowest margin of victory for any AFC conference champion. It just doesn't. They have gotten very close, some very close wins. Use the word lucky if you want, but very close wins.
Yeah.
And especially against the AFC, they just cannot pull away from teams in their division.
Yeah. Look, I think this is the Bills' time. I really, really do. And that's nothing against the Chiefs. Look, you're gonna have to go and earn it. Like the Chiefs, they've been winning with their defense. Defense is incredible. As long as 15 is out on the field, I mean, you're gonna have to earn the damn thing. You know what I mean? Liddy, I'm in for a showdown. Yeah, I'm 100% in for that. Yeah, like if I'm looking at this one, Patrick Mahomes rushing attempts 4.5. Well, that's what it was last game. I don't have it in front of me, but it's generally 4.5. I'll ride that again. Whether they win, whether they lose, I think that you can generally get it in both ways. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown, 100%. Because look, man, like now here's the thing. You have to protect yourself. James Cook, like I don't hate either of them. Who's our boy Ray Davis? He can steal it. That's the problem. He gets down there and steals touchdowns.
And it's the same thing with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. It's when you have two really good backs and they have the line set as if only one of them is going to be playing. You have to take that into account. It's just you can't. I get real leery about relying on the especially like the running backs for yardage wise in this one. Especially, I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like in KC, but it's
it's going to be cold,
right?
Yeah,
it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold as hell. Yeah,
So I like in this one. I really like the Josh Allen anytime touchdown, and I would say get that sooner versus later because that's only going to go up.
Yep.
As we get closer to game time.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's a great point. Like I'm getting in on it now because it is. It's only going to go up. And look, we're so far ahead of the public right now, which is why, like, you don't have to make all your bets right now. We're not saying that at all. But the ones that you like, especially ones with popular players like him, it's only going against you the longer that this week goes. So I like Josh Allen here. I like Travis Kelce again for a touchdown.
I'm
the right tight ends. Go ahead. Yeah.
If we're going to touchdowns, let me bounce back because I think getting Barkley before it gets to like minus 200 for an anytime touchdown makes a lot of sense. So jump on that as soon as you can. But the Kansas City Chiefs are actually a 3-star rated model projection, meaning that they've checked the boxes in 3 of the 4 models. The Philadelphia Eagles are 4-star. They've checked the box in all 4. So I think what I'm going to be doing personally is I'm going to be teasing the hell out of both these games today to get favorable odds and milk the most out of them. I'll bring the Eagles down to -1.5 and take the Bills at plus 7.5.
Okay, I was gonna say, look, I like teasers. I'm just not good at them, so I don't play them because I would never want to pretend,
Right.
that on something that I just don't do well with. But that's a good look, and the especially at this round of the playoffs, the closer that you could the tighter that you can get it, and the better each number is. It absolutely matters, man. Absolutely matters, especially when we're looking at totals of exactly the same. Now, all right, we've broken down these games. We're going to continue to do it all week. Tomorrow, we'll start hitting deep into the player props and some team totals and numbers so that we have those. All right. But, Mark, we also have to do this. Okay. We need to take a look at college football. All right. Because it's never too early to get another look at the teams that we're facing and seeing for next year. So I'm going to put this up full screen, Mark. And look, I'm throwing you blind into this, and I did it on purpose. Okay. Because I wanted to be as unfair as possible, right? What a friend. What a buddy. Okay. Now, you look at the odds to win the national championship. This is courtesy of our friends over at FanDuel here. Ohio State plus 450, Texas 650, Oregon 650, Georgia 700, and keep going down. All right. So I'm not going to read all of them, but Mark, what I am going to do is this. It's January 21st. We don't have to make a pick on exactly who we think is going to win the national championship, but we're going to kind of do it. All right. I'm going to give you 3 options here. 3 options. Pick 3 teams, and you can go as chalk as you want. You can go as non-chalk. Not even a word, but what do you think?
I think with the quarterback situation in Miami, if I am taking my long shot, I'm going with the University of Miami. I think
Carson Beck.
Yep, they are. Look, they went and got him, and he's a game changer in and of himself. And it's not that Cam Ward was not a excellent quarterback. Beck brings that little added swagger that literally means all the difference in the locker room, which then translates out onto the field. So I'll go Miami there. Looking at this, it's hard for me to not think that Notre Dame is back in the hunt for season.
They bring back almost everybody.
Right. Yeah. So that's a given. For my third, I think we see Texas. And I think we see Texas, and so that'd be my 3: Texas, Notre Dame, and Miami.
Okay, I like it. And let me say that Texas is a good play. All right, it's Arch Manning's team now. Sarkisian, they've got some boys coming back too. Some go in the league, but you know what? It's Texas. They always send dudes to the league. I'm with you. I'll roll with Texas there. I'm going to leave Ohio State out, and it's nothing against thinking that they're going to be bad. None of that. I'm just going to leave them out for the moment. And Liddy, I mean, my goodness, man. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Texas is going to be, yeah. I mean, look, Sap says Texas is going to be strong. Texas is going to be real strong. And especially getting there now, right? Taste it a little bit.
And I don't mean to interrupt you, but to that point, I think every single team that played in the playoffs this year now has a much different approach, right? We now know what to expect. Having all 4 teams, the 4 teams that lost in the first round, was very telling, and all the home teams won, and covered the spread, by the way. So they won big, I think that they all now have a taste for what this format looks like and feels like and how to prep for it. And I think that those teams that were in the playoffs this year are already a leg up on everybody else for next season.
I completely agree with that. Look, since weather, Kansas City on Sunday, 33, high 20, low cloudy, no precipitation. Appreciate you. There we go. good to know on that one. And everybody's asking about the regulars. Yeah, don't worry. All got contracts right there, emails, everybody. Good to go. Just want to give everybody some time. Don't want to pressure anybody because I care about their friendship and mental health more than rushing anybody back. So don't worry about that whatsoever. I mean, you got Marcus Sayre right here. That's NHL approved, baby. All right. So look, I'm gonna go Texas. Notre Dame's gonna be good. Notre Dame's gonna be good. I'm fascinated with Alabama.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you why. I've been around Alabama football my whole life. State right below Tennessee. Okay. It's Alabama. They're a standard. And their fan base understands that and keeps your feet to the fire. Let me just say, old boys down there, the coaching staff, this ain't going to be a fun offseason. It ain't been a fun season. Let me assure you of that. And they're not afraid to fire anybody's ass and get them out of there, okay? I have a feeling Alabama's going to be pretty damn good.
So
now,
go ahead. Just to underscore that point, I did a little time in the military down at Fort Benning, and right there, right next to Auburn.
Yep.
And I saw firsthand the craziness that is Alabama football. The Iron Bowl, the guy poisoning. The guy poisoning. I saw family fights break out at holidays over because, somebody's yelling Roll Tide, the other one's War Eagle. And next thing you know, they're rolling around on the living room floor, beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
The only fan base that is crazier than that, and this is a shout out to my weekend wagers crew, is the Gators. The Florida Gator fans are insane. And so, just a little tip of the cap to DG and Robbie.
And Robbie.
DG and Robbie.
Yeah. Let me look. Dude, Florida's Florida, right? I'll tell you what's going to be good next year is Auburn. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
They had no one on their roster this year. Hugh Freeze was left with nobody. And I mean nobody. And what he did with that team, dude, he didn't get enough credit for that. And he's finally got people, coming to spend money. So, I mean, I'm not saying Auburn wins a national championship, but they're going to be good. But I'm interested in Alabama. I'm interested in Georgia because Georgia's got talent everywhere.
Georgia's Georgia. They're good, and they're gonna Georgia. You know what I mean? They're always going to be in the hunt. I just think that the current structure of division championships or conference championships, they sort of start to eat themselves and hurt themselves. I think that's going to be the most interesting. Where did I see the ACC is already having a meeting of, within the next couple weeks about restructuring their conference championship so they don't hurt teams going into the playoffs. Yeah. I just, I think that's going to be the downfall of the playoff structure is that teams are going to be like, no, hold on. We're not going to play the extra game and possibly hurt our ranking.
Yeah, that's a big concern. And we're also getting to a point where, I mean, it's you have so many players that hit the transfer portal. Like, your teams are going to, can be completely different year to year. Completely different. I'll tell you exactly where the 2 points, and we'll move on from this. The 2 points that are going to be most important, obviously. Quarterback position, right? You've got a returning guy. That's huge. And number 2, offensive line. Because in college football and the NFL, there's no larger delta of supply and demand than offensive linemen. Good, great offensive linemen. Penn State's going to be good too. They're returning their quarter. They're not going anywhere either. But yeah, and they've got a quarterback returning, offensive line, 100%, man.
And it's funny on Sundays when they're going through the starting lineups and they always get to the linemen, whether it's on the offensive or defensive side.
Yeah.
Look how many SEC teams have starting linemen in the NFL now. And it tells you all you need to know about these schools' programs and the way that they turn people out. So
100%, man. And, we'll talk more as we go, but like the point that you just made, and let me say this. The Big Ten was smart in that they went and attacked guys in the transfer portal, meaning bring them over, get them in. Big Ten's won 2 straight national championships now.
Right.
Like, they're running the show. Like, we got to give them credit. The Big Ten running the damn show right now. And they've got lines, buddy, that can absolutely go. But keep talking about that. We've got all week. We've got all year. We've got an off season to break that down. But Mark, what we don't have a whole year for is the Whiparound. All right, let's go through our picks one more time for anybody that came in a little bit late. So good to see you here. Mark, I'll let you go first. What you got, buddy?
We're going to take the Sharks and the Predators. First period over 1.5 at -120. Look, the Predators are right now, they've scored a first period goal, multiple goals in 2 of the last 3. They've scored in the last 3 games. They're going to be facing Alexander Georgiev for San Jose, who's on the second night of a back-to-back. Georgiev is a sieve when it comes to goaltending. That's why Colorado got rid of him. Look for a lot of first period scoring in this one. We're going to jump then to the Senators and Rangers. We're going to take the under 6 for the game total there. For basically the same reason I'm targeting the Sharks and the Predators, I'm also looking at the goalies here for the Senators and Rangers. Shesterkin has a 95.1 save percent with a 1.29 goal against average. Levi Merlenin has a 92.6% save rate with a 1.98 goal against average. And while my math isn't always the best, neither one of those goal against averages is over 2. I love the under 6 here.
Love the under 6 indeed. All right, I've got 3 plays here. Tennessee -6.5 against Mississippi State. We're also going to take Texas -2 and SMU -2 as well. So 3 in college basketball. And we will continue to go throughout the week, breaking down those, but obviously getting ready for the NFL. Now, like we said, got our man to send in a little bit of a stat of the day. You missed this? I missed it. Stat it up here. Philadelphia Eagles, all right? Scored a first quarter touchdown in 6 straight games. 6 straight games. Do they do it again? What do you think against Washington at home?
Yeah. And I think it's going to be one of 2 people, Barkley or Hurts.
I know, right? I was laughing at myself because we were breaking the game down, beforehand over the weekend, and it was like, okay, all right, we're all on Saquon, and then Jalen takes off, and I was like, damn, because we talked about it, like you taking Jalen, you taking Saquon, taking both of them is not a bad idea. But for any bettors out there, if you're looking at, not only props, but you're looking at, first quarter bets, first halves, etc. Yeah, the Eagles, they're scoring points. Now, we got one more thing to do, Mark, then we're going to get out of here. Everybody, thank you so much. So incredibly kind for everything and all the support. Aaron, I see you right there, $19.99. My goodness, man. Thank you. And everybody, thank you. Cannot appreciate you enough. This thing is going to continue to roll, continue to grow. But, Mark, I'm going to let you take a guess here, okay? Because we got to update the Howie Schwab Crew Play of the Day, okay? Now, I already know the answer to this one. All right, Commanders +6, Eagles -6, Bills +1.5, Chiefs -1.5. All right, you got 2 shots. Where do you think the crew went?
I'm going to go Bills +1.5 and Eagles -6.
I know. I was surprised too. Commanders +6. They're feeling it. Commanders +6 is the choice. Now, we've got all week to break it down. We'll go through it. But I asked you because it was like, it surprised me. Now, not saying, well, I watched you could win the damn game. You know what I mean? But feeling love on that one for sure. All right, before we get out of here.
Well, I hope Washington doesn't win the game simply because the Eagles are one of the 4-star picks for this season. So I'd love that stat to keep climbing.
There you go. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, listen, there's a ton of ice hockey to be taken in tonight. There's all sorts of stuff. You can always get my picks and takes on juststatsports.com, where we have a ton of stuff up. Rob Hockey's got his hockey bets and his props. Preston has college basketball covered. DG has NBA covered. Get over there, check it out.
Yeah, Weekend Wager Show Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Is that correct?
Weekend Wagers Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Perfect.
And I'm glad to say that I don't know if you saw it last week, AB, but I threw my hair on the line.
Awesome. Me and Dibs were talking about it, which is that hair is worth something, Haas. Yeah.
Long story short, the last time I cut it 9 months ago, I ended up donating 18 inches of hair. So yeah, I had super long hair.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's coming back. You look good. All right, everybody. We'll get out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Weekend Wager Show, obviously Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. But Mark, thank you enough for today. Had a ton of fun, man. And we'll have to do it again soon. Sound good?
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers indeed. All right, everybody. Jump in the Discord. We'll be live in there, having fun all day, breaking down bets for today, tonight, and we'll be live tomorrow. Normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern. But everybody, until then, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.